Yesterday was one of the most electric days of baseball that I can remember, and to be honest with you, for the first time in a long time, I felt a shift in the conversation around baseball. It kind of went from being boring and not a lot of people play MLB The Show to Kevin Durant tweeting that Shohei Ohtani is a different breed, a different type of baseball player, and the fact that he's going to be using him in MLB The Show. So when you have multiple tweets blowing up that MLB The Show is better than Madden and 2K, I mean, this is a great time to be a baseball fan, and yesterday, again, for the first time in a long time, I felt a complete shift in the narrative that baseball is becoming cool again. I'm so excited. So shout out to the community. But what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We do this every single day. So if you want to stay up to date on the game of baseball, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. This is the best place to be. Harper, Mr. Bryce is getting revenge on his former team, the Washington Nationals. Shohei Ohtani joined a very exclusive list. And then Ronald Acuna Jr. hit his 11th home run of the season. We also have to talk about Fernando Tatis and the Yankees. They've had an outbreak, so we'll go ahead and break that down. But before we do, that's kind of some negative news. Let's talk about some positive news. If you have no idea who Drew Robinson is, about a year ago, he tried to take his own life and he survived. The Giants AAA team picked him up, and yesterday he hit a home run in his home state. He played for Silverado High School, which is in Las Vegas, Nevada. He hits a home run. His family was in attendance, and I have to say, this was one of the most awesome moments that I can remember for baseball fans in quite some time, and I'm really happy for Drew Robinson. All right, so let's talk about some not so positive news. Fernando Tatis Jr. has tested positive for the you-know-what, as well as Jurickson Profar and Jorge Mateo. Actually, the last two guys, they haven't been confirmed just yet, but because of contract tracing, the fact that they were around Tatis, they're going to have to be held out of the lineup. Now, Will Myers was the second player to be confirmed positive for the you-know-what that's going around. Eric Hosmer had to be taken out the game as well because of contact tracing. In one single swoop, the Padres lost half of their roster, but they did win the day yesterday. The Padres beat the Rockies 8-1 yesterday. Manny Machado hits a home run. Miguel Diaz, in back-to-back starts, has gone 3 innings, only allowed 1 hit, and did not allow a single earned run. Ha-Seong Kim played a fantastic shortstop in replacement of Fernando Tatis Jr. Kim makes it 4-1, and then Manny Machado clears the bases and ends up with 5 RBIs on the day. So even though the Padres again lost half of their lineup, they still came away with the W. Props. It is now confirmed that 3 Yankees coaches have also been confirmed to have what Fernando Tatis Jr. and Will Myers. If you guys are wondering why I'm not saying the actual thing, it's because YouTube will demonetize you if you say the full thing. So that's why I'm trying to kind of walk the line. The Yankees, just like the Padres, they overcome the adversity and they beat the Rays 3-1. The Yankees are now on a 3-game winning streak. Aaron Judge hit his 8th home run of the season, and Mike Zunino just forgot how to catch baseballs yesterday. Now he does make up for it with a moonshot, but unfortunately that was it. Jordan Montgomery was selfish yesterday in a good way for Yankees fans. 6 innings, 2 hits, only allowed 1 run and struck out 9. Gary Sanchez hit an opposite field home run and then threw out Austin Meadows on a pretty wild play at second base. And then Aroldis Chapman comes in for the stare save. That's what I'm going to call it from now on, because he just stares at you every single time he gets the final out of a save. It is probably not a fun time to face Aroldis Chapman. As of right now, he is off to one of the best relief seasons ever to begin a season. So, I mean, I'm not saying that Aroldis Chapman is a good person, but he's definitely a good pitcher. The A's, the reason why I'm rocking out with the hat, we're going to talk about how Major League Baseball could be moving them to a different city. But again, they're overcoming adversity. The A's sneak away with a 3-2 victory over the Red Sox. Matt Olson ties it for Chris Bassett, who was disgusting. Chris goes 7 innings, racks up 10 strikeouts. He has been so good this year. One of the best pitchers in baseball thus far at striking out hitters. Matt Chapman drives in the other Matt Olson, and Elvis Andrus makes it 3 runs. Rafael Devers tries his best to, galvanize the troops and get them going, but they do fall 3-2 to the Oakland Athletics. But we're not done talking about the A's just yet. Major League Baseball has said that Oakland, the Coliseum, is not fit for the future of Major League Baseball, that it's outdated. It's no longer suitable for the vision that Major League Baseball is trying to accomplish. So they're either going to have to spend like $12 million on a Bayfront ballpark, brand new, do in Oakland, or they're going to have to move to Las Vegas, Nashville, Portland. Those are pretty much the top 3 cities right now. I would love if they moved to Las Vegas because at least that's close to Oakland, so if they wanted to come to some ball games, they could, and the AAA team is already here. It just makes too much sense. 2 games ended in a walk-off yesterday. The Mets and the Tigers came away with victories. Let's talk about the Mets versus Orioles real quick. John Means, who is coming off a no-hitter, was fantastic. 6 innings of scoreless baseball, so that is now 15 consecutive innings without giving up a run. Marcus Stroman was really good as well. Almost goes 7, strikes out 5. Austin Hayes triples, and he kind of got lucky because Almora, I mean, this really had to hurt. Now, he did tweet after the game that he made the catch, so that was pretty much just confirmation that he is going to be okay. He might be out for a few days. Dominic Smith drives in an RBI, and then Patrick Mazeika hits another walk-off. That is 2 walk-offs, and I think 4 games played or something like that. He has 0 career hits. I can't believe I'm saying that, but he has 3 RBIs. 2 of them come via walk-off, so congratulations, Patrick Mazeika. He is now a folklore legend for eternity in New York. Another walk-off came courtesy of the Tigers, but we'll talk about that in just a second because the Tigers had a huge 4th inning. Willie Castro, Akil Baddoo, and Grenier, they make it 4-0, and Robbie Grossman, he adds 3 more with a triple later on in the game. Matthew Boyd was electric, 6 scoreless innings, but the bullpen is all-time bad for the 2021 Tigers, so Jorge Soler single-handedly almost completes the comeback. He drives in 6 RBIs, but Robbie Grossman with his 5th RBI that wins it for the Tigers. The Royals are now on a 9-game losing streak. Now, one thing I do want to mention, just because he's my guy, Akil Baddoo came into that game with 4 walks in the entire 21 season. He had 3 walks, got on base all 5 times yesterday, and that's what he did in the minors. He walked a ton. If he can do that, if he can take more pitches and stop striking out as often, okay. My favorite home run of the season happened yesterday in the Dodgers versus Mariners game. Mitch Haniger, now this was not my favorite home run, but he has been the best hitter so far for Seattle. Both him and Kyle Seager. Kyle Seager's playing his brother Corey. They make it 3-0 early on. Max Muncy and Mitch Haniger, they trade home runs, and Yusei Kikuchi was dominant. 11 strikeouts, that was a career high. But unfortunately, Corey Seager and Gavin Lux, they do the thing for the Dodgers. This home run from Gavin Lux made me, not a Dodgers fan, want to run through brick walls. I was so excited for him. Kenley Jansen comes in to save it. He's only allowed 4 hits in 15.1 innings pitched. He has been absolutely dominant, so good for the Dodgers. I fully expect them to start winning way more than actually losing. This could be the spark plug that they needed. The Astros faced off against the Angels yesterday. Shohei Ohtani versus Lance McCullers. It was a very exciting matchup. Shohei Ohtani became the 4th player ever to have 50 home runs and 100 strikeouts in a career as a pitcher. He joins Rick Ankiel, he joins Babe Ruth and someone else I don't really remember, but he goes 7 innings, strikes out 10. McCullers goes 8 innings and strikes out 9. So it was tied going into the final innings, and the Angels bullpen could not hold up. Yuli is up to 6 home runs and a 970 OPS, and that game right there really just proves that the Astros never had to cheat. Yuli Gurriel is good without the trash cans. Carlos Correa, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, they should have never cheated in the first place, but they did it to themselves, and that's why everyone hates them. But that game right there, the fact that they just popped off for 4 runs, it shows they never had to cheat in the first place. Bryce Harper loves hitting in Washington against his former team. He is tied with Ronald Acuna Jr. for most home runs in Washington as an opposing hitter since the beginning of 2020 or maybe 2019, I can't remember, but that was his 7th of the season for Harper. I love his little home run call. Trey Turner hits his 8th home run of the season. Unfortunately, it was fruitless because Andrew Knapp comes in for a 2 RBI single. This puts the game out of the reach. The Phillies have been playing really well. The Nationals, not so much. The Blue Jays and the Braves, they played in a pretty entertaining game yesterday. Acuna reclaims the major league lead in home runs with 11. And then on the flip side, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he ties it up with a 2-run home run. Marcell Ozuna then grabs the lead back, only for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. again to tie it up. Freeman got stuck in no man's land, and Jordan Romano came in for the save, so the Blue Jays win 5-3 over the Braves. The Braves yet again fall below a 500 record. The Cardinals beat the Brewers. This was a pretty slow game. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pitching duel up until extra innings. You have Kim going 5 1/3, only allowing 1 run. Freddie Peralta dominates in 7 innings, only allows 1 single hit. Dylan Carlson kind of saves the game in the bottom of the 9th with a sliding catch. Paul Goldschmidt has the highest OPS as an opposing hitter in Milwaukee history. He adds to that with a 2-run 2-run home run. Tyler O'Neill with a monstrous home run to center field. So the Cardinals win 6-1. The Diamondbacks beat the Marlins 11-3. Nick Ahmed starts it off with the home run, and David Peralta makes it 5-0. Madison Bumgarner has a .47 whip over his last 5 starts. That is historic. He is pretty much unhittable. He's only allowed 3 earned runs in his last 5 starts. He goes 7 innings of scoreless baseball, and Carson Kelly as well as Asdrubal Cabrera, they drive in the final runs. The Giants versus the Rangers. This is a rematch from the 20-something World Series. I can't remember. Tauchman makes a fantastic web gem. You have Mike Yastrzemski scoring Mike Tauchman on a double. Brandon Belt makes it 2-1, and then Charlie Culberson over at third base, his error makes it 4-1, and Logan Webb, that was all that he needed. He goes 6 innings of 1 earned run baseball, strikes out 10. Logan Webb is pretty underrated in my opinion, and Jake McGee, he gets his 10th save of the season already. The final games from yesterday, we're going to go through them fairly quickly. Shane Bieber has been giving up a ton of hits and walks as of late, but because he's so nasty, he can still get out of jams. Alzolay of the Cubs is also really good as well. Unfortunately, J-Ram and the Cleveland offense, they had 2 really good swings, 2 home runs, and then Emmanuel Clase was fired up. He gets the final outs. He saves the game. Bieber now has 20 consecutive starts of 8+ strikeouts. That is a major league record. The Pirates beat the Reds 7-2, but Jesse Winker has been a maniac ever since he got ejected in a game last year. We're going to talk about that on my second channel, the day that Jesse Winker became Barry Bonds. Make sure you guys are subscribed over there. He has 19 home runs since the beginning of 2020. Evan Newman has an RBI triple. Troy Stokes Jr. gets his first major league hit and RBI on the same swing. Adam Frazier caps off a W with a 2-run home run, and JT Brubaker out of nowhere has become the ace of the Pittsburgh Pirates. He lowers his ERA to 2.58. And then last but not least, Yasmani Grandal has been horrible. That was a much needed 3-run shot, so good for him. Max Kepler, he robs Jose Abreu to keep the game close, but then Jose Abreu says, you know what, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to rob me again. He hits a moonshot, and the White Sox now have a plus 59 run differential. So they've outscored their opponents by 59 runs so far. That is the best in Major League Baseball. And the fact that they've lost Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert and they're still scoring runs, that's incredible. All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Today was a beefy episode, so I would really appreciate if you guys stick around and hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 300K. Also, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off your entire purchase. Follow me on my social medias at Fuzzy from YT, and enjoy this day in MLB history. Stay safe.
Stanton drives it left field, absolutely crushed, and out of Dodger Stadium. My. The fans at the top of the bleachers are turning around and looking out.